Wow guys, take a look at that. That is an awesome sight to see. Good morning. Had a great sleep. We took my dad's gear up, the gear that he wore when he was going across the lake and fell into the ice, up to my sister Caroline's little heater there, and it's pretty dry. My dad's just up there checking if it's good to go back or not. We've got about 3 more hours to drive before we get to where the fan boat we're going to be picking up is. So we drove about halfway last night, and then as soon as we pick it up, we're probably just going to head straight back to the island, which is like 6 or 7 hours of driving. I think we can do it. Hopefully we can get back to the marina area before the sun sets, just because it's going to be a new machine we've never driven before, and it'd be a lot better to do it in the daytime than at night. If we do get back too late, we might have to stay another night at the marina and then head across, but that's the worst case scenario. Hopefully that won't happen.
We're just walking into Timmy's here to get a coffee and maybe something to eat for breakfast, and then we are getting back on the road.
Alrighty, we made it. Let's take a look at this airboat. Just pulling in, I could see it under the tarp, and on the ads it looked absolutely beautiful, so I'm really excited to see this thing.
It's not an aircraft, it's a generator. Ground power unit.
Oh, okay.
It's a generator.
Okay.
I just always do that. I just take that off every working on the motor.
How about when you're letting it sit for a bit?
I always just take it off.
Yeah.
Yep, I just go like that. And that's a master anyway, but this is what I do.
That's...
So it's carbureted, so you have to probably give her another pump, right?
Yep.
Got to feather the gas, right? Until it warms up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a badass airboat.
Yeah, good.
I literally folded that garage door in a few days ago. I was pissed. Blew it right off the track.
I
So I was trying to
be.
But I usually just run like I don't. You'll know you'll be sliding.
Give her a little bit, and as soon as it's moving, you got enough. Right?
Yeah.
You don't,
Yeah.
Because
If you're already planed out, you know what I mean. Straight off.
Okay.
Because you can start porpoising when you hit. You know what I mean. It's hard off.
We're gonna test the trailer lights, make sure everything's working, and then we should be good to pull out of here pretty soon. The lights work, and man, this fan boat looks absolutely amazing. We aren't going to be able to get it back by tonight to the island, so I don't know if we're going to drive as far as we can and then just stop, or we might stay at Matt and Caroline's again tonight and then just head out in the morning. But you know, from everything I can tell, it seems like a pretty simple thing to drive. I mean, it's just got a gas pedal and a lever to turn from side to side. It's kind of like a Sea-Doo in the way that you can't turn without giving it power. So probably what we'll do is once we offload it at the marina, we'll just kind of pull around and practice driving a little bit, just going slow around the first part of our lake. And then once we kind of got the hang of it, we'll head through the narrows into the main part of the lake and just make our way to the island. Man, what a beautiful machine, and I can't wait to give it a test drive and to, you know, use it. It's actually one of the fan boats. He picked it up in Florida. These are the ones you see riding around all the time down there. So for fishing in the spring, summer, and fall, and then for ice fishing and just, you know, getting around in the winter, you couldn't ask for a better machine than this. I just realized it's been 10 days that I've been off of the island. And, you know, even though some of that was accidents and things breaking down, I'm kind of happy with the way it all worked out. You know, like my dad getting stuck and me getting stuck on the island after Peter went across, or at the marina, just made it where we can come down and pick up this boat, because we were planning on picking it up later, but since we were already stuck, we just thought might as well. And, you know, we could have been waiting, you know, a couple more days at the marina, just waiting for the ice to get thick enough. But this way it's actually faster. By the time we get back, it doesn't really matter what the ice conditions are, because now we can go over anything we want to. I am really looking forward to getting back to the island, though. I kind of miss my little cabin. Well, what a big day. That's quite the rig to see driving. The Ross Monster with a beautiful fan boat towed behind it. Let's get to the island and test this thing out. Good morning, everybody. We pulled in really late last night, around 1 a.m. But we're here now, and we're currently trying to offload the fan boat here at the marina, and then figure out how to get it down to the lake. It's a pretty big boat, and it's a pretty tight trail going down towards it, but I think we got it. Okay. Well, we got it down to the ice, guys. That was a bit of a chore. Very steep hill we had to go down, and made it kind of hard. But we got it. Man, I'm looking forward to turning it on and going on our first ride. Finally. Finally, it looks like I'm going to be able to make my way back to the island. The nice thing is that the channel here by the marina is one of the thickest ice areas, and it's pretty wide open, so while we're learning how to drive, we don't really have to worry about that too much. Wow, guys, take a look at that. That is an awesome sight to see.
Well done. We broke through in the channel.
No way, the arrows?
Yeah, in the narrow, so it actually was super stable.
Crazy.
Oh, Lando. Is that you? Is that you? Oh!
Up there? I was so worried about breaking through there because as I was coming close, you could see my path, the big long path.
Oh, no way.
Oh! Here, let's open it for you. Wait. I'll open it for that guy. I know. Oh, look how excited you are. There you go. Go eat it. Crazy dog. So happy that he hasn't seen you in what, 10, 11 days?
11
days now, actually.
Especially Daniel.
Wow. Good to be back at the cabin.
Wow. That is so much fun. Wow. It is nice and simple though, like it's just a lever and a
Not
pedal.
much to it, it's just...
right, that was pretty intense for a second there. We were just breaking through the ice, coming through the Narrows. That's the same spot that my dad went through on the snow dog a couple days ago. And the problem wasn't that, like, this obviously can go on water or ice. It was just that the one side of the lake was a lot thicker. So then every time we were trying to pop up, it was kind of turning the boat on its side. So then we just followed the thin ice as far as it went, and just eventually it popped back up on the ice and we were good to keep on gliding over here. But man, what an amazing machine. What a difference. Like, if we didn't have this thing, me and my dad would still be here. The Narrows would still be, you know, undrivable, and especially with how thin that was, it was super surprising. It was like not even an inch thin in some of those parts. It could be a full week before we could get back, if not longer. So this thing is a game changer. Best idea we ever had. And since we can now go in and out whenever we want to, while the day is still kind of young, before it gets dark, we're gonna head back into town, do one last grocery run, and then hopefully get back before the sun sets. So that's what me and Peter are doing. We're gonna head in, get the last few things we need, the last of the supplies, and then we can truly start our winter journey up here with no more fears and no more delays. Wow, I look pretty rough. Well, I made it back. We offloaded all the groceries and stuff. My camera died, so I couldn't film too much of it. But man, the smell of the old cabin here, it's just, as soon as I walked in, I felt at home again. It looks so good. My mom actually stained some of the walls and stuff in here while I was gone. I mean, it's been 11 days since I was here. So a lot's changed. Everything was nice and organized. Really nice of my mom to do all that. I'll show you guys that in the morning, since my camera's dead and this phone doesn't really show it too well. But I think I'm just gonna head to bed pretty early. I got a fire that I just started. As you can see, you can still see my breath. Still kind of cold in here. But also got a little propane heater, the one I picked up, running. So I got both of them going at once, so it shouldn't take too long to get hot. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. I'm feeling pretty tired after everything. And there's just been so much going on. So, wow. What a good day, though. We got a fan boat. We got across the lake safe and sound. We got all the groceries and supplies we'll need for a while. So if everything goes according to plan, I won't have to leave for a while, which I'm really looking forward to, getting back and spending some time here without leaving. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep, and I will see you guys in the morning. The next day was beautiful and sunny, which is pretty rare for this time of the year. Another very rare phenomenon that we don't get to see much up here is the ice being fully clear of snow all across the lake. So me and my brother took this chance to put on our skates and go skating for the first time this winter. Well, that felt really good to head out onto the frozen lake for a little bit of skating. And also, I don't know how much we'll be able to skate in the future here, because it looks like tomorrow's forecast calls for some snow, which will be great for every other aspect of living up here, especially the fan boat and snowmobile. But it being just complete ice like this, wind-swept ice with barely any snow on top, is just such a unique thing. It's so beautiful. And the noise, the noise when you're sleeping at night, or during any time of the day, of the pressure cracks forming. I stayed up a bit last night just listening to it, and even when I'm in my bed, it's kind of the quintessential cabin winter I've always been looking for. Wow, what an amazing experience. I kind of wish I could stay longer just because it's so beautiful, but we need some snow. I got a fire going before I left inside my cabin. It's a lot bigger of a deal now that I maintain my fire and use my propane carefully and all that sort of good stuff, because every night it's like negative 20, 25, and that's pretty cold. Like last night I turned off my heater because I thought it was, warm enough. And then when I woke up, it was freezing cold. All the heat had escaped and the windows were frozen like this. So, yeah. Gotta make sure that stays lit. Well, here we are, home sweet home after 11 days. So cozy. Wow. Like I said yesterday, I'm going to show you guys around some of the things my mom has done since I was away, mostly to do with staining. I just checked the fire and it burnt out while me and Pete were skating, but that's fine. I got some kindling and stuff, and won't take too long to get going. It stayed nice and warm in here, although it's going to be like negative 30 tonight and snow. So I'm going to have to make sure to get the fire nice and hot, and also grab some propane for the new propane heater. When I first got in here, I quickly turned on the TV and got some music playing, just like ambient music. I'm not exactly sure what the genre is. I usually just look up like medieval fantasy tavern music. It's kind of like flutes and stuff like that. Really love it. So if you're looking for something to listen to when you're like reading or something, this is really nice. But anyways, let's get this fire going. Actually, before we do that, because skating is pretty hard work when you haven't done it in a while, I'm just going to get a cup of water here. If you guys remember, this was my little water jug from when I was building the cabin this spring. And I actually forgot where it was. Turned out it was just in our family shop, but my mom was kind enough to fill it with water for me before I got back. She really put in a lot of work to make sure I felt like I was back at home when I got back, and I really appreciate that. Oh, I was saying like the smell of this place, and it's so true. Like every time I step in here, I'm just overwhelmed with like a feeling of home. I don't really know how to describe it. I absolutely love it though. This is my favorite place on earth. Woo! That water's cold. All right. Now I split this really fine kindling just to help get it going, but the log was pretty long, so I'll just break some of the pieces up. And if you break them like this, not fully through, the teepee shape actually makes it pretty easy to start fires. There you can see what I was talking about. Just kind of makes the perfect Ooh, is my lighter broken? There we go. Makes the perfect setup for lighting a quick fire. Alrighty. Shouldn't take too long, and we should have a nice warm fire going. Need to remake my bed and stuff, but some of the easy things you can see is my mom kind of reorganized my shelf nicely and put those beautiful string lights, the same ones that are hanging over my door, instead of the Christmas lights I had. Now that Christmas is over, these are just nice and soft and amber colored, which matches the rest of the cabin. She also did a lot of staining with that dark stain we all decided on in the back and started doing some of the whitewash. So she did this wall. She actually stained the bookshelf itself, the one we built a couple weeks ago, which I think looks really nicely. It blends into the wall a lot better since it was fresh wood. It was kind of bright and looked, you know, I don't know if cheap is the right word, but I think you guys know what I mean. She also finished staining this wall, which anyone that's been watching for a while knows I have an LED strip light that goes along with amber lights. And when that's on, it looks really cozy now that it's dark. Matches perfectly with the white roof, and it just looks really cozy. She also stained the bed. So staining all this stuff, I didn't even think about that, but staining the bookshelf and the bed, and she also did some other stuff I'll show later. And it was a really good idea because in a small room like this, where space is so important, it's a really good idea to try and make everything look like it's part of the walls so the room stays feeling more open, I guess. I'm not an interior designer, so I don't know all the lingo, but usually if you're doing that, you'd want to go with a lighter stain. But I've always been a fan of darker stains. Like I said many times, I love amber lights and the look of fireplaces. Like when the lights are off and I'm in bed and just the glow of the fire's coming out, the way that light reflects off of a darker stained wall just looks really cozy. It makes the whole place feel warm. And in the winter, that's a really big deal. But yeah, it's also just a personal preference of mine. So I think the way my mom did it and the way everything blends into the walls does give it a more roomy and open look to it while still having my preference of the dark stain. So it's just really awesome. Oh yeah, funny thing actually, if you guys watched my Christmas video, I took a long time trying to hang string lights going all the way along the rim of the roof. But then just as I finished, I lost the little metal springs that hold the batteries in, so I wasn't able to turn them on. Funny enough, last night when I was sleeping, I was just kind of feeling next to my mattress and I did find that. And then I was so tired when I got back from that whole escapade last video, I went, oh, cool, and set it down. And then I completely forgot this morning where I put it. So I did find it, but now I need to remember where I put it. And if I do, then I can have those lights going finally. As you can see, my mom also stained this back drawer system behind the fireplace, which was something I wanted to do. It's an even darker stain than what's on the walls. It matches more to like my computer stand and the kitchen table. And since all of these, I tried to make them the same height, it really blends well and looks nice. Speaking of computer stands, I need to clean up all these wires, but here's my laptop, which I forgot to bring with me because I thought I was going on a 2-day expedition, and that's why I wasn't able to get videos out for a while. I'm sorry for all those missed weeks, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed last week's video, and I hope you enjoy this one as well. I have my laptop now, and I should be able to get my weekly videos out on time each week from now on, hopefully. Nice. The nice thing about this wood stove is since this is such a small cabin, even just lighting a small fire like this, I can already feel the whole entire room start to heat up. It really doesn't take long at all. And on a night as cold as tonight, reaching almost -30 Celsius, it's definitely needed. Here's the new little Mr. Heater Buddy that I picked up. It's a propane heater. These ones are great. We've used many different systems over the years while traveling, and this one was just one of the most reliable, and it's pretty cheap for a propane heater, and it works really well. It's just got, you know, a basic nozzle. I don't have a propane tank right now, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's just got the, here, let me move that. It's just got like, you know, your pilot lighter, which usually goes on the first click, and then, you know, low and high settings. So I'm probably going to grab a propane tonight before I go to bed, and then I'll save this thing mostly for in the mornings, since I'll have this thing running the whole time while I'm reading or doing anything else that I do before bed. All the way up until I sleep, it'll probably burn until like 2 in the morning. And then that heat holds pretty well in this room, even though I've got some antique windows and stuff that aren't the best for holding in temperatures. But it's usually around like 8 in the morning-ish that it gets pretty cold. So just if I'm working on my laptop in here, or if I'm getting dressed or whatever, I can turn on the propane heater for 15 to 30 minutes, and it just helps to keep the temperature high. And yeah, it really comes in handy. I'm glad I picked this one up. But yeah, even though it's a little bit messy in here, it's a lot better than when I left it. My mom did a really good job at organizing and staining everything. What a cozy cabin. Feels so good to be back. Now that I'm sitting here home at last, everything that's happened in the past 12 or so days is really sunk in. That was quite the adventure for me and Pete, with everything that happened in last week's video, and then everything that me and my dad did in this week's. Just so much unexpected stuff, but it all worked out so well in the end. You know, it was really all meant to be. Some very scary moments, like when my dad went through the water. I still can't believe that happened. That was just crazy. I'm so glad he's all right. You know, he's a very smart guy when it comes to safety and stuff, so he knew exactly what to do. And yeah, whew. I can already feel, you know, myself relaxing now that I'm here. Skating today was beautiful. I'm really glad we got to get out and do a little bit of it before the snow covers it again. But actually, my parents, particularly my mom, is looking at getting a snowmobile, and they found one that they really like. So in next week's video, we'll probably get that and, you know, do some snowmobiling or ice fishing or something. But the main vehicle that I'm really happy about is that fan boat. So much fun to drive, a lot easier than I thought, and I feel like the true winter experience we were looking for can happen now, just because it was, you know, it's always fun up here, but just having that kind of like looming awareness of ice and open water, and when we'll be able to get more supplies, and what's, you know, could potentially happen, like my dad going through the ice, really, you know, weighs on your mind while you're doing things up here. You have to be so careful, especially with what I do, usually woodworking or whatever. If you hurt yourself and we didn't have that fan boat, there'd be no way to get across the lake without, you know, calling in like a helicopter or something. And yeah, so now that we have a fan boat, it just really gives a peace of mind that if we need food, or, you know, if something comes up or somebody possibly gets hurt, then we at least have a vehicle that can get us across to mainland safely, no matter what the conditions are, which is really amazing. I really appreciate, like I was saying, the response I got from you guys, and for your patience and waiting for last week's video to be published. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you who have been leaving comments of support and well wishes for my dad and for us here. And as always, a big special thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my Patreon channel. Your support really means a lot, and it helps me to be able to keep creating these videos and bringing you guys new adventures each week. I'm going to wait for this fire to get cooking, throw some big hardwood logs, and then I'm probably going to hop straight into bed maybe read for, 30 minutes or so, but then I'm going to get a good night's sleep. So again, big thank you. And as always, I will see you guys next week.